I welcome everybody to the judging day. It sounds funny, but anyway, this is a very exciting time for us because this is the day we are going to, hopefully the judging panel will shortlist the winner who's going to go with BISP in a proof of concept into finding a solution using data analytics and artificial intelligence to develop a credit scoring app or platform to enable us to serve our customers better and to provide more proactive and personalized customer experience. So I just don't want to take much time. We have a lot to do today, and so I'll turn it to Mirna. Mirna, please go ahead.
Thank you, Maisa, and I share your views. It's going to be exciting. خاصة إنه we had 14 submissions to this challenge, and only 5 have been shortlisted to pitch today. So in principle, everybody who's been shortlisted today is a winner on their own. We received 14 submissions from 10 countries. 9 were shortlisted in round number 1. 5 are now finalists with us today from 4 countries: Bahrain, Finland, Sri Lanka, and UAE. Before we start, and I hand over to Melissa, I'm going to introduce and welcome the judges with us today, starting with Yasmin Sharaf, Head of FinTech Innovation Unit at the Central Bank of Bahrain. كيفك Yasmin?
Good evening to everyone. Thank you, Mirna. I'm very well, thank you. It's indeed very exciting, you know, also considering that this is one of the first challenges on FinHub 973. So this is going to be a great milestone for us, and it's going to be set the grounds and the scene for more similar fintech challenges to come. Very excited to see who the winner is going to be. And as you said, I just want to echo what you said, is that, you know, being amongst the 5 finalists, we really consider that all of you have won today, regardless of who's going to be the end winner. Good luck.
We rarely see this level of support from a regulator, Yasmin. فيعطيكم العافية. وطبعا يعني your presence here is a voice of confidence to the bank طبعا, and to the fintechs coming from all around the world to participate and be part of the journey that BISB is taking towards becoming and strengthening its position as a leading bank بالبحرين and across the region. Kamen, I'd like to introduce Usama. Usama Nasser is the Chief Information Officer at Bahrain Islamic Bank. يعني regulators are tough, but Usama, guys, is the bottleneck صراحة. يعني whoever goes beyond Usama is a winner. Win Usama and you win the deal.
Hi guys. طبعا we hope the best for all of you guys, and we are very excited to see the winner. And again, just to add to what you said, it's the decision will be taken jointly between the technology and the business. So
inshallah. Now we're coming to the business. I think Wissam is a familiar name, mashallah, on judging panels. We've seen him before. So Wissam Bakr is Chief Corporate and Institutional Banking at Bahrain Islamic Bank. The presence of Wissam and Usama on the judging panel is actually what's going to make this really a winning proposition from Bahrain Islamic Bank. لأنه without the business and without the technology, nothing really works. Plus with the regulator, يعني, I think that is a match made in heaven. Welcome, Wissam.
Thank you very much. And I'm really excited to see this, because at the end of the day, this is what we give back to the community. We as banks, for the past, I don't know, God knows how many years, we have always been very rigid. We don't introduce changes. This current 2 years with the COVID, I think we are changing a lot and seeing a lot of new fintech coming up. And in fact, developing the banks. Smaller banks are becoming big just because of those. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen.
Inshallah, inshallah. على كل حال, I'm going to hand over now to Melissa. Melissa, you're going to run the show. Berki, you can tell us more about how much time each of the startups will have and the judging criteria and everything else. So back to you, Melissa.
Thank you, Mirna, and welcome everyone, and best of luck for all the finalists. I'm not going to take a lot of your time because I know you are all excited to start your pitches. So for the fintechs, each and everyone have only 5 minutes to pitch and another 5 minutes for the judges to ask their questions. I will be inviting each and every presenter of the fintechs to join. And they will open their camera, share their presentation on PowerPoint and slideshow view so that the judges can be able to see clearly. And you have 5 minutes from the time I give you. So because I will be timing exactly 5 minutes for each. So without further ado, let's start with our first fintech, which is iLoan, all the way from Sri Lanka. And the presenter from, I think, Singapore, his name is Shafraz. Shafraz, please, the floor is yours. Can you share your screen?
Yes. 1 second. Do I switch the camera on? Oh, no.
Yes, camera on and screen,
because
please.
the host is disabled.
It's not. You can share it. It's a green button in the beginning and below.
Yep. I can share the screen, that's fine. Now the camera I cannot. I'll start with the screen. Can you see this screen?
Yes, please, can you put it in slideshow view? Yeah.
Yes, before I start off, I'd like to have a small clarification. You mentioned that it's 5 minutes, but in the agenda that you shared, it was 10 minutes with a 5-minute Q&A. So
no,
that
it's 5 minutes. And 5 minutes. It's in the agenda.
Okay.
5 minutes Q&A, 5 minutes.
I don't intend to argue here. It's okay. I'll get on 5 minutes, but it says 10 minutes.
Yeah,
so, all right. So I've shared, I think, about 22 slides here, which includes certain support slides in case it's required for the Q&As. I'm only going to touch 12 slides out of that for my 5-minute presentation. A quick understanding about iLoan. We are a solution for micro, small, and medium enterprises. This segment has continuously struggled to raise finances. Both Asian Development Bank and World Bank has continuously pointed out that the trade credit gap is in excess of $1.5 trillion. Banks have tried, many have tried to lend, most have not succeeded because for many various reasons. We have managed to develop 2 different solutions that brought together into iLoan. One is an alternative credit scoring methodology, which is able to provide credit worthiness to micro, small, and medium enterprises. The second is we've been able to create a network of these micro, small, and medium enterprises to create a secure lending method. Where we truly broke the code of lending to these small enterprises was when we've successfully brought in banks to plug into iLoan and lent via iLoan to over 450,000 micro, small, and medium enterprises in our pilot market, Sri Lanka. Quickly touching this middle segment that I have, the corner segment in red is what we are touching on. That's where the liquidity is the least, but it's also the most important conduit that connects the value chain to customers. Traditional banks predominantly have a few products, of which overdraft facilities, invoice discounting, and a few more are the way they get about. So security and portfolio backing becomes very important. Given that there is no visibility in these products of how fund usage is going to happen, they are quite reluctant to go and lend downstream, predominantly because of KYC, creditworthiness, collateral, and so on not being there. This problem is a large problem. Just to put in perspective, this is Asian Development Bank and World Bank stats, which says close to 78 million MSMEs in Asia. That's 70% of Asia is without access to trade credit. The global impacts about 3.5 to 5% of the economy. So when we got out and tried to solve this problem, we did 3 things very easily. First is we became the accredited channel partner for large enterprises, or which are like multinational brands. Second is we onboarded all the retailers and provided them KYC, creditworthiness, collateral issues were sorted, and we were able to provide verification for them. Third is we provided a portal for the banks to be able to sustainably lend. Our system is predominantly as a trade credit network. We've been able to bring in technologies such as RPA, API, and blockchain enablement to create scale. We are a fit for any bank market. Any bank could plug into us. Banks are very heavily regulated. Therefore, in any market that we operate, banks could just use us as the conduit to extend their credit offerings to that last mile. Our credit engine, we've been working for the last 2 years. This is the biggest part of ours. It has two different aspects. One is purely to do on psychometric analysis. The second is purely to do based on data that we have been continuously gathering and developing an algorithm based on this. We have, over the last 2 years, done over 10,000 loans. We have extracted different data out of it and given to data scientists and risk modelers. They've built a machine learning algorithm, and the purpose is to quickly evaluate any retailer for their creditworthiness. Our existing system works in 3 stages. The first stage is that the normal credit that is given by the distributors. iLoan brings 2 more stages, and they have a choice of selecting whether they want iLoan or not. We provide the banks an end-to-end information to make decisions. They just simply have to plug in, use a master lending account and a master collection account, and just lend through us. Coming to the technology, our APIs and blockchain and RPA are the reasons that we can automate. Through technology, we have connected stakeholders in the value chain to give transparency, something that has never been there before. I think I'll take 20 minutes because I took 20 minutes to sort my Q&As out. We have 5 different terminals, actually access points for the 4 different stakeholders. And these are the stats in our pilot market, where we have been able to get all the multinational brands. And the biggest breakthrough that we had was 2 banks coming on board to lend to us. I've stopped at my point. I have the rest of the slides for Q&A. And
thank you, Shafraz, for that, right on time. I will leave now the floor for the judges for Q&A. Judges, the floor is yours.
Can I start, Melissa, with a question?
Sure, please go ahead.
Can you just reiterate a little bit more on the 3D credit profiling engine? What kind of data do you use for profiling these micro enterprises?
So down here, there are 2 types that we do. First is, I actually also have got my, am I allowed to bring my partner into this, Melissa?
Sure, no problem.
Fazli, you're there?
Yeah, can you hear me? Melissa, am I clear?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sure. So hi everybody. To answer the 3D credit profiling, there is two different metrics we look at. One is the psychometric part, which means his behavior, his or her behavior, how they have performed certain transactions in the past years, things like that is taken into the credit analysis. Then the second part of the algorithm takes into account his ability to pay bills, from his phone bill to electricity bill to if he has settled the credit card. So a combination of these 2 gives the final credit score of SME to us, which we in turn gives to the bank.
Okay, thank you for that.
Can I ask a question? How do you verify the financial information?
Okay, so a few ways. One is these retailers, they are vendors. So for example, the people we are working with are vendors to Coca-Cola, Unilever. So there are top multinationals. So we take that information, and 1 or 2 local companies have opened their APIs to us, so we can take the information out of that. So that's one way. If that's not available, we will manually go through this process of onboarding people. Good question.
A question from my side. Okay, very specific to what we need exactly. What can you do for us, or what are the expected data you are expecting to get from us based on what we have here in Bahrain? You understand that at the end we need our systems, our online channels to be connected to a risk management or a risk assessment tool to send you some inputs, and then you need to collect also more inputs from different systems, internal systems or maybe external systems, at the end to give us a decision, either we give the customer a credit card or not, or for example a loan or not.
Okay, so each multinational has different criteria. Same way each retailer, that's the end, all the stores that's out there in the world. Each person's position is different. Some people have taken loans in the past, they have a little bit of credit history, they have worked with a phone company, they have bills from, let's say, a car lease, things like that. So if we can get more information, the better the credit score's accuracy will be. The model is designed in such a way it can take as much information and then determine the most accurate creditworthiness score. I hope I answered your question. I'm not 100% sure of what exactly you were asking me.
Hi, Suhail here. Can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead, Suhail.
Okay, just in addition to what Usama has said, basically what we would like to understand is that the algorithm or the parameters will be used to assess any customer to assign a specific score. There'll be a multiple information will be needed from our side or from the customer point of view. So how those information will be collaborate or input in the system, and how the output will come to us. For example, there'll be a certain segment, there'll be a certain sub-segments. So how that will be managed, in the algorithm.
So if you are API ready, we can give you the parameters we want. You can flood that into our system and we will do our thing and give you the output back.
So it will be parameterization and we will have the access to change the parameters at any point in time.
Sure. You can see the risk modelers will weight that. So what's applicable in Bahrain is not necessarily what's applicable in Thailand. Correct. There are some risk modeling that takes place as well. Now we are working with going into Vietnam, Thailand, and 3 other Asian countries, and the risk model is not quite. There is a lot of differences how you model it per country. So there will be some nationalization for each country we'll have to do.
And there is a limit. Sorry, and there is a limitation on data points.
No, not really. We haven't come to that yet. Okay. Eventually we might, but right now we look at about 40 unique parameters plus all the historical credit transactions they have done with any creditor. So if you have 30 bills,
segmental level as well.
Exactly. So say you have 30 transactions done with Unilever, we will take that and see the payment history, how many payments were on time, was 2 payments delayed and paid in 2 sections. All that information will go in.
Okay. And I also would like to know that do you provide the portfolio management services post onboarding? Like yes, kind of report analysis, sure. Or the customers' behavior in case of spending or whatever, something like that. I mean, those are the parameters will be required for portfolio management post approval or post onboarding. So that is also available within your system.
It depends on the bank. See, each bank requests different things, so we customize the report for them.
Okay. So that is available. I mean, based on our requirement, that can be provided.
Yeah, in an initial discussion, if you say these are the parameters, once they're on board, we would like to have, then that's something we can discuss. It's not something we have canned and ready to give today by any means.
I have a question, final question from my end. Has the technology been developed in-house?
No, we hired a NASDAQ listed company called Virtusa. They are the ones who are developing all there. See, we integrate with banks, so it has to have the enterprise level security and all that procedures have to be met. So Virtusa is the people who did this for us. They work with JP Morgan and very big banks in the world.
And how do you ensure data privacy, protection of data privacy?
We are following the European standard right now. I forget the exact code. Yeah, that's what we are following.
All right. Any other questions from the judges? Usama, Wissam, Yasmin, all is good. Suhail also, of course.
Just one more question. The data point we discussed. So there will be internal data point, based on availability with us, and there will be external data point like, credit bureau. So that can also be integrated with our internal data point, the credit bureau external data.
If you have another what we call a bucket of data from a different entity, the score will be combined and a married final score will be given. We have to do some scaling on how you do that, but that can be done.
Okay, thank you.
The people who's leading the credit side, they work for Experian and TransUnion in the US, so they know this game very well.
Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Fazli and team. Please, can you unshare Shafraz? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
And best of luck, you guys. I'm gonna give time for the judges to compile their scores. In the meantime, I would like to invite the second fintech who will be pitching. Please, Jukko Leino, all the way from Finland, from Utopia Analytics. Please, can you share your screen and enable your camera so we can start?
Yes, absolutely. Just a second.
Yes, we can see you very well, so you can share your screen now. Take your time.
Okay.
Can you put it, and slideshow, yes. And you can start. Let me just reset the timer.
Can you see it now? Okay, now it is on presentation mode. Okay, very good. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You can start. Yeah, you can start now.
Great. So greetings from Helsinki, Finland. This is Jukko from Utopia Analytics. And we here at Utopia Analytics are specialized in language-independent text analytics. We have a strong academic background research on this field of artificial intelligence. And since text is pretty much unstructured data, our special expertise is being able to combine both unstructured data and structured data into the AI model. This is our in-house innovation. We have patents pending on this, and we've been serving several industries for a few years now, most recently in insurance, and now we're looking for opportunities to expand on banking, which is really exciting because personally I have 15 years experience in consumer banking, but also a little bit in corporate banking. So I just have 2 slides. So I have summarized it in two pictures that I would like to share with you. What is our approach and solution for you. So the basic idea is, like in any modeling, that AI needs training data to be able to handle tasks automatically. So Utopia AI uses the same data for automated credit decisions that is included into your existing process or models if you have already some models in place. So the idea is that AI is trained with your earlier man-made credit decisions, and this process takes only 2 weeks in our end. And the outcome is practically similar as in decisions made by humans, but with just one model. So with our approach, you don't need, for example, any separate business rules or because the AI does not do different decisions what humans would do. So for example, it can understand your regulation based on this approach because your credit advisors and credit officers they apply the local rules and they do not make credit decisions which would be against your local regulation. So when these kind of decisions are included in the training model, neither the AI does decisions which would be against your local legislation and regulation. So I have split the process of credit risk assessment into different parts. So first of all, you will receive data from the customer themselves, the credit application data. You probably have some models how you handle the credit application data and define the socioeconomic data and so on. In addition to that, you can use a behavioral data probably from your internal databases or external databases. There might be a separate model for that as well, as many banks have. They have different models for application data, like application scoring, behavioral scoring. Maybe they have own scoring or process for customer profiling, how profitable the customer is, what's the cycle of the customer, and what kind of solutions would be ideal for the customer at this stage of the customership. And also, of course, all external data that you can use, like credit bureau data, what other loans they have, do they have any payment remarks, payment defaults, any social media data, which you probably can use. So the idea here is that Utopia, instead of having separate models for each of these different purposes, Utopia AI can combine all the data included in these steps, or maybe additional steps, depending on your process. Utopia AI can combine this all data into one model and give a credit decision. So, and also providing the customer based on the data what you can offer, so that you can use this data also to check that what kind of products would be the most suitable for this customer. Like kind of, you know, which customers have been the most profitable for you and most satisfied with your services. So practically this helps you to profile the most potential customers for you to offer more services and help your customers in more comprehensive way. And another slide from the technical perspective. So what we practically need is, of course, the historical training data. So practically all data, what is included in your credit granting process and credit application reviewing process, including the decision what has been made by a human credit officers in the past. This process maybe takes, depending on the databases, but this might take a day or two to gather all this information. And then an integration to Utopia API. Our solution is software as a service, or I could call it also an AI as a service, because we take care of everything related to AI and machine learning as well. So the integration is very simple. It's HTTPS interface and uses JSON lines. So the process itself is quite fast to set up, because we don't offer any systems that should be integrated to your existing environment, because you can continue to use your existing credit management systems, which just provide you additional information whether to grant a loan or not. So these two first steps are required from our customers' end. And once we have received the training data and defined that it's okay to start the modeling, then it takes 2 weeks for our data scientist to build a model that is practically production ready. So we have really streamlined process to create an AI model for our customers' tailored needs. And once these 2 weeks is passed, then our customers—
Sorry, Juko, I have to interrupt you because your 5 minutes are up.
Okay,
sorry.
Fine.
Thank you so much. I will leave the floor now for the judges.
Sure.
Judges, the floor is yours. Yeah.
Okay, a question from my side. Have you done something similar to that before? You have explained the way your system will be integrated with our online services. So have you done this before with something similar to that with someone?
Yeah, well, we are serving currently 7 or 8 industries at the moment, like insurance companies and social media companies. So this is real-time service. So practically the integration layer is built or set up between your database and Utopia AI moderator. So practically all data comes from your database through the API integration layer. And yeah, we currently have about 20 public references in different industries who are using this same technology.
Clear, thanks.
I have a question here, actually 2 questions. My first question is, you said one of the data points will be behavioral data. how are you going to retrieve that kind of information for new clients for which you have no past or historical data? That's the first question. The second question is, so essentially it will take 2 weeks and 4 days to come up with a credit decision using your solution, from what I understood from the presentation, right?
Yeah, it takes 2 weeks for our data scientists to train the model. So after that, when you are using our model for credit decisions, the credit decisions are automated. So they're real time. Whenever you receive a new credit application, you just make the API request and you will get an immediate response back whether to grant or decline the loan application. And your first question was related to the payment behavior. Yeah, we are using only our customers' data. So of course, if the customer is completely new to you, so then there is not behavior data in your data set. But for example, if you're using external credit bureau data, for example, then we can use that data. That data can be included. But of course, the data has to be in your database. So Utopia does not do integrations directly to any other service providers. So if you have the external data, we can include that into the model.
Hi, I would like to ask a question that the example you gave, that the customer application or the data input, obtained from the customer application, there'll be any error threshold, because sometimes the customer missed some information, it's not updated, or it's not available in an appropriate form. So how that will be taken while giving a score to any particular customer?
Sorry, I'm not sure if I get your question right. So did you mean that if the data given by customer is not correct, is that what you're?
Yes. If the data is not correct, or some information is critical information is missed, it's not available or not in appropriate format, or the format system accepts it's not available. So there'll be any error threshold or something?
Yeah, then that can be identified that something crucial information is missing, and those cases can, for example, be forwarded to humans to review. So for our solution, it can be used like 100% automation, or it can be started like automate 50% and then increase the automation level when you see that it's working properly. But yes, it's possible to include that if some relevant information is missing, so then it flags those credit applications.
Thank you.
Again, can we integrate this with our systems?
Yes, this can be. We don't offer any other user interfaces or anything. Our customers always keep on using their existing systems. Like in your case, you would be continue to use your existing credit management system or credit handling tools systems, what you are using. So practically what you need to do is add, for example, add new fields in your system, which imports the decisions made by Utopia AI about the credit decision. So no any new systems is required, or there's no limitations based on the systems which is compatible with or not.
One more question. It's regarding the the portfolio management post onboarding. So what solutions you have for the to cater that segment?
For portfolio management, no, I wouldn't say that. We don't offer portfolio management services, because that is something what the AI is not handling like in a portfolio level. Our AI is just giving a single decision for each single transaction or credit decision, whether it's consumer or corporate and so on. But it doesn't, because we don't take your portfolio information into our end. But what we do in the pilot process is that we provide information about how well the AI can define the correct decision based on the human-made decisions in the past, so that you can see the actual accuracy of the AI model. But from the portfolio management perspective, that is another service that we are not offering.
Thank you.
Just a final question, Melissa, if you allow me. So just to understand correctly, that you haven't provided this kind of solution for a bank as of yet, right? But you do deal with other companies from other sectors, such as insurance, I think you mentioned.
Yes, exactly. And the reason for that is that, for example, in Europe, we are not allowed to use unstructured data in credit decisions. So that's why we haven't been focusing on banking very much. But for example, in your case, since you have this kind of big data and unstructured data that you can use in credit decisions, so that's why it's really interesting, would be really interesting to work with you and see and show you how accurately our model could handle that kind of data as well. Yes.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you so much, Juko, for everything. Let's move to the next fintech, and best of luck. I would like to invite, please, Wasim and Stan from Virufax. Hi, you guys, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good. So Stan, I think you will be the one sharing your screen, right? So
yes, correct.
Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Right, until I think Stan starts with his presentation. Can you see my screen, by the way? Just double check it.
Yes, yeah. I can see it. Yes.
Great, thank you. I'll just quickly set the scene. We at Virufax, we've partnered with Turnkey Lender in order to create operational streamline of data that will all feed into the credit decisioning. So we're creating the ultimate credit decisioning tool. But for the purpose of today, we will focus on the requirement at hand, which is the decisioning engine. And it is something that Turnkey Lender has tens of reference letters from banks on existing increased productivity, increased savings, and measurable results from integrating all the structured as well as unstructured data into one decisioning tool. With that, I'll leave Stan. I'll leave the floor for Stan. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Wasim, for the introduction, and thank you everyone for the opportunity to speak today. So let me just give you like your overview of what we as a Turnkey Lender do and what we can deliver to you as a bank required to cover your project. So basically, we have like strong presence and market experience with many projects that we already delivered to our clients globally. And here I should say, for example, our data analysts, they have experience of like more than 20 years delivering different scoring and decision solutions for various organizations, right? And here, if you look at our different names of our clients, so I should say we already implemented or in the process of implementing the solution for different organizations from financial and non-financial sector. And here, of course, like we do have banks and our clients in different parts of the world where we implemented solution for different commercial and consumer lending processes and operations, and also delivered the solution for different like alternative lenders where we automated the process with automatic decision and scoring engine for processing different type of clients and managing different operations. So here we are talking about mobile operators, alternative platforms like online platforms that deliver different type of loans to the market, different in-house financing organizations, like for example Siemens that we recently launched, where we automated and delivered scoring and decision engine for delivering equipment financing, just an example, or mobile operators where we work with Orange on global mobile, right? So basically overall we are capable and we have the solution for entire application cycle, automating full loan cycle. But here today we are talking about scoring and decision engine, right? So therefore I should, as I already mentioned, we can easily cover and deliver the solution as we did for other clients, automating those type of loan that you want to do. And I'm talking about consumer and commercial lending, right? If you talk about scoring and decision engines, here we have a solution to deliver a combination of scoring models, having like different type of score model that we can build and configure internally, and input into configured and custom-made decision engine that can automatically process and instantly within just few seconds give you decision for initial application or for monitoring, portfolio management, or for example for servicing the clients in terms of their repayments, right? And obviously on top of that, so you can also have the set of different parameters like cutoff parameters, business rule for automation of the process, right? So therefore, for example, for our scoring engine, so we can use different, and we used actually different variables from different sources that you can have as a bank, or you can also have in the country available, and we can use those information like different variables for scoring and evaluation of the clients or the loans or the transactions, right? So therefore, as I mentioned, sir, you can have, we can deliver basically different score models, and they're like the clients can be evaluated during the initial application process where the score will be calculated and decision will be done in terms of the client, but then also having like further monitoring of the clients using, for example, behavioral model and track how the client repays their loan, and therefore also calculate internal customer rating and collectability, like to see and predict risk profile of the client in terms of creditworthiness, right? And here we are talking about, as I mentioned already, different type of client that you can have. So we're talking about private individuals or corporates, commercial clients.
And I have to interrupt you. Your 5 minutes are up. Thank you.
Okay, it's very short.
But
okay.
5 minutes to be fair with everyone. So
absolutely, absolutely.
Yes. Judges, the floor is yours.
Okay, can you just
go ahead, Osama, go ahead.
I just was asking about the technology you are using in distribution.
Yes, so first of all, we use our in-house built zero-code platform, and what it means here, so it combines different configuration tools that we use for configuring the platform. So it's Microsoft-based, and it can be deployed either in cloud into local premises, and therefore using our configuration tools, you would be able, first of all, to get the solution within short period of time. At least MVP can be configured very quickly. And then, sir, in the future, you would be able to configure and customize the solution as you need it. So we can give you the possibility to do that. So we don't do any hard coding, and therefore we can train your technical team how to use the system, how to configure the system, and how to deliver new features, new parameters into the system.
And the main data that you collect is from the customer's application form or the customer's application data?
I should say it's a combination, right? So it depends what sources, what data you have available. So here, first of all, we rely on data you have available within your organization. If you have it, of course, like a historical data, or we can do, for example, connect via API with external sources like credit bureau, state register, and then obviously with your core banking system, where we can collect information about the payments, about historical transaction of the client. So therefore, we can use different combinations of the data from different sources, like credit history from credit bureau, then your internal banking history, like for the operation, then, for example, any information from like state register, as for example, for the companies, so in terms of litigations, or, you know, those kind of things. So we can use different sources, including social activity that we, for example, used for mobile operators, where we delivered scoring and decision engine for them. So here we can use, and we already did it for our clients.
The technology belongs to Virufax, or does it belong to
Turnkey lender? Turnkey lender, yeah, Virufax is our partner in Middle East, and we are glad to have them.
Have you used this technology with other banks as well?
Yes, as I mentioned, we did the project for different banks around the world, and we already do the projects for Middle East banks.
Which part of Middle East?
Kuwait, for example, we already signed the mandate and started the project with Commercial Bank of Kuwait. We also had another project in Oman, but unfortunately it was a startup and they didn't get funding, so it didn't fly. We also already implemented partially the project for leasing operation for our big client in Egypt, where we deliver also digital lending platform for leasing and consumer lending platform. So that is like if I just touch a bit in terms of the MENA region, but overall, we delivered solution in 50 different countries, starting from Australia, Asia, Europe, Middle East, up to North America, Canada, US, where we also have strong presence.
Are you regulated in any of these jurisdictions?
Yes, so we do have companies incorporated in Singapore and US, and therefore we do have accreditation in those countries. For example, we are recognized as reliable provider and have accreditation with the Singapore government. Also, we do have ICO certificates on the quality and security, especially like in terms of the data protection. And also in US, for example, we successfully audited our platform in terms of the SOCR certification. So we did, yes, different certifications and accreditation as well.
All is good from the judges' part. Suhail, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm good.
Okay,
thanks.
Cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Stan.
you.
Thank you, Wissam. Judges, I will give you some time just to compile your scores. Meanwhile, can I please invite our next fintech to present? I would like to introduce Atiq Khan from Aon Digital. Atiq, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Let me just connect the slides. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see it. Great.
Okay.
1 second, let me just reset the timer. So the floor is yours. You can start now.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, and pleasure to be here. So just to introduce, Aon Digital is a Bahraini fintech, and we are building intelligent digital banks in the GCC region with a 100+ strong team and have invested more than $15 million building market-leading digital banking platforms and products. An advantage of being in Bahrain is our extensive experience of local laws and regulations such as PDPL and open banking. We have already successfully established PDPL compliant data connectivity between banks and AWS cloud infrastructure. We are also strongly connected with regional infrastructure such as Benefit, EDB, CBB, and other central banks. We have experience in building green and brownfield digital banks like Jazeel in Bahrain, a truly digital bank in UAE, which is going to launch this year. And this positions, and we have experience and we have won several awards and been recognized as one of the most exciting and innovative fintech across the globe by Fintech Abu Dhabi and global markets. This positions us as a leading fintech brand in the region with the proven technology and support with in-market on-presence team. Aon's strategic partner Qarar is SIMA's credit decisioning analytics arm, offering credit decisioning services to all banks in the KSA and also some other in GCC countries. Qarar's Decision Smart product set comes pre-integrated with Aon Digital Banking Platform for low-risk deployment and enhanced speed to market. Qarar will bring in significant market insights, trend analysis, and experience of delivering decisioning use cases across the region. Aon Hikma is a cloud-based AI platform of Aon built on AWS and Google Cloud Platform to increase profitability, reduce risk, enable personalization at scale, and to streamline decision-making process in the organization. We have invested over 15,000 hours of R&D with PhD resources and our global partners to build Aon Hikma. The team Hikma includes seasoned AI and data professionals, and in Bahrain, we have built an AI-driven analytics platform for KFH learning products, and we were able to deliver real-time consumer insights, including customer churn prediction with an accuracy of 85% plus using Aon Digital proprietary deep learning algorithms, positioning Hikma as a robust, on-the-ground AI partner strongly integrated in the region. The solution we are proposing is already tried and tested and implemented in multiple banks and cases in Bahrain, a real-time data analytics platform that is Aon Hikma with AI capability to run complex financial models and services, such as automated regulatory compliance, robust stress testing capabilities, and several more. For risk and credit scoring, we'll be integrating Decision Smart, which will enable us to provide additional risk models to build behavioral scorecards, which we will discuss in the process flow. The platform has a cloud-agnostic architecture currently built on AWS, which will seamlessly integrate via API gateway with existing BISB systems and services, such as databases, BI tools, BPM, and CRM. For AI modeling, we will use TensorFlow framework. Aon Digital is also heavily investing in an open banking platform in Bahrain. And once that goes live, we can take the decisioning process to the next level using power of data aggregation and AI. The platform will enable us to run a range of account-centric services that matches the customer portfolio needs based on AI and ML, such as customer targeting, upsell, cross-sell, and other such services. We propose a basic POC to ensure a quick business and solutions alignment, which would be done within 6 to 8 weeks post-acquisition of data. Once the POC is delivered, then we can have formal go-ahead. We will set up infrastructure like data framework and governance, ETL layer, data warehouse, API gateway, etc., and connect them with our existing platforms. We will work on a modular approach, and if required, we will replace one legacy system at a time with a data generating digital system. Once the platform infrastructure is set up, then we can release new modules every 6 to 8 weeks. I'll quickly go through the delivery roadmap. As part of the Hikma Virtual Lab, we will identify data points, mass sensitive data, and ingest data to a secure infrastructure for providing automated seamless data engineering, processing, and AI model training features. Automated data extraction, as mentioned earlier, will then use APIs to extract only problem-specific data to Virtual Lab. The Hikma Central AI Engine integrated on the Virtual Lab will then assist in development, maintenance, and fine-tuning of problem-specific algorithms. The credit score modeling service will be used for designing and monitoring a smart scorecard. The smart scorecard will be powered by AI engine to automate the best fit customer profile for segmentation and risk processing. As mentioned earlier, AI engine will be used to also automate behavioral scorecards such as probability of default, loss given default, etc. The collection management system will help predict delinquencies, segment and prioritize customer based on risk, and recommend channels of communication. And all the business insights generated through the system will be displayed on a custom designed cloud-based dashboards accessible across multiple screens for real-time reporting and alert generation.
Sorry, Muhammad Atiq, I have to interrupt you. Your 5 minutes are up. So I will leave the floor.
I was just on the live slide anyway.
All right, that's good. I will leave the floor for the judges for their questions. Thank you so much.
Okay, Muhammad, you have explained the technology that you are using in your solution. Can you just explain to me how your algorithm will analyze the data?
So the algorithms that we build, we are using different data points, transactional data. There is financial and non-financial customer data that we use. Then, like I said, we're also investing heavily in open banking, so we'll be leveraging other technologies as well. Once that is done, then we build different customer segments. The segmentation analysis is done based on the current customer profiles, and those pre-designed templates are then adjusted to new customers that are input in the system. Once those customers also build their own historic data, then based on that, we have a much better customer segment analysis done. So the algorithm is what we built is basically using artificial neural network, a very highest form of deep learning technology. And so we use that. And so we're using deep neural networks to actually run those algorithms. And we've actually received some very, very high levels of accuracy with that. One of the examples that I gave, for example, we've done with KFH, we've actually received 85% accuracy. For some long-term loan products, we actually got an accuracy of 97% as well, because in long-term products, the customer behavior is not very divergent.
And this was based on which data, Mohammed? What you have implemented in KFH was using only internal data or some external data also?
So with KFH, we've used their transactional data. That was purely internal data for now. But the capability that we have can work with both structured and unstructured data. So even if it's third-party outsourced data, we can still streamline that. Obviously, the challenge is to identify or connect the data in the sense there has to be some unique identifier which matches the unstructured social media profiles to the current structured in-house data. And we need to be very particular about the PDPL policies as well, because right now the PDPL very clearly states that you cannot work on any data without customer consent. And right now, since the law is quite recent in the sense it came last year, a lot of the banks do not have the consent management system in place, which sort of puts at a disadvantage. So one of the first steps is actually to have that in place so we can have the right approvals and then integrate those unstructured external data with the structured internal data.
Okay, thank you, Mohammed.
Mohammed, what's the difference between Aon, Hikma, and Qarar?
So Aon Hikma
what role
is.
does each one play?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
So what role which each entity play?
So Aon Hikma is the AI platform or AI analytics solution of Aon Digital. Aon Digital again being a Bahraini company. Qarar is a data analytics arm for SIMA. SIMA is a Saudi credit bureau, as you're aware of, and Qarar has been integrated with all the KSA banks and a lot of banks in UAE, Kuwait, Jordan, even Pakistan and other places. Their expertise is in credit decisioning, in creating credit scorecards, smart scorecards. So that is their, and they have a product which is called Decision Smart. So their expertise lies primarily in the decisioning element. And our expertise is more towards analytics in the AI and machine learning. And collectively, I think the solution and the question that was basically the challenge that BISB has laid, I think we can do a very good best fit for.
And besides KFH, do you have any other banks whom you deal with currently?
So yes, so we're working with a lot of banks. I think we have around 15 assignments in this region. We're working with banks in Kuwait and UAE, in Bahrain. So we've worked with multiple banks and we have a lot of engagements going on. And that's just from the Aon side. With Qarar also, they're engaged with, I think, more than 15, 16 banks. So collectively, we have a strength of more than 30 banks within the region. So that is basically our main experience and expertise as well. So we are very deeply enriched in this region. We have hardcore experience with all of the banks in this region in one capacity or another. And we have done multiple different assignments with them.
Mohammed, regarding the credit scoring model, when you explain, the development and the implementation of that model, what about the maintenance of that model? In case of like any parameterization changes, so we need to, it will be available in-house to us, or we need to, every time we need to come back to you for any maintenance of that particular parameter of any model, the scoring model.
For that, I would request, I think Mr. Riaz is also on the call with us. Mr. Riaz, if you can kindly respond to this question.
Yes, thank you, Mohammed. So everything that we do within the credit decisioning space is parameterized within the system. Nothing is seen very much as a black box. So all of your business rules, all of the cutoff setting, etc., will be a parameter within the system that you can update and change as per your business needs and requirements. And the model governance and the model monitoring and model adjustments is part of our process of as scorecard developers. So we don't just develop a model and leave it with you. We also maintain that model on an ongoing basis.
So which means that the parameters will be available to us and we can just modify as per our requirement.
Absolutely. So with the scorecard, the scorecard is parameterized within our rules and decision engine called Decision Smart, which you will have access to be able to view what's in there and edit what's in there, provided whatever edit you make business sense and statistical sense. Correct.
Okay, Mohammed, the other question is, you in your presentation, you have showed that PD, LGD kind of stuff and the collection thing. So that's a part of complete, the deliverable to us. And it will be, you know, of course, it will be a post onboarding kind of, stuff.
Yes, yes. So the solution is all encompassing the collections management part. Like it's an end-to-end solution, starting from the basic parameters, laying down the exact data requirements, all the way to delivery of the results in the form of real-time dashboards and everything in between. So that will be part of the scope that we are delivering.
So it is including the collections activities as well?
Yes.
Like, calling, tracking, monitoring?
Yes. So as per my understanding, BISP does already have an internal CRM engine, and our solution will basically be connecting with that CRM engine. And the way we've actually designed the whole solution is to ensure that, there is no wastage of investments from your side as well. So we are using API gateways to connect back and forth with the current solutions. So we will be using those APIs to update and work with the current CRM solution to provide those. So the collection management system, in short, yes, we will be delivering that as part of the solution, and it will be integrated with your CRM as well.
So if I correctly understood what I was saying, like the the scoring model for onboarding the customer, similar model can be developed for collections customers as well, based on, using our platform, and that model can be implemented just to monitor the collections activities based on scoring or kind of stuff for customers.
Yes, that is correct. And again, like I said, so the option is yours, right? It's completely, it's up to you if you want to integrate with your current CRM or you want to replace that. We can work in both directions.
And what about the same thing goes with PD, LGD, ECL calculation?
So that, again, that will be part of the Decision Smart product, and they'll be managing that calculation.
Okay, so that will be part of that complete package.
Yes.
Okay.
So as far as you're concerned, this is one complete solution. And like I said, it will not be, we will be working in modular approach, but we will give you one more complete comprehensive solution, which will give you an end-to-end service.
I hope you understand, I'm just talking about regarding that IFRS thing.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Yeah, great. Thanks, Mom. That's it from us.
Good. Thank you, Suhail. Thank you. Thank you so much, Atiq, for
thank you so much
for that presentation, and best of luck. I'll give some time for the judges to compile their scores. In the meantime, I would like to invite, last but not least, our final finalist. Please, Debasmeet Mohanty from Stratletics. Can you please share your screen, your video? I can see you. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Okay, so
1 second, just let me reset the clock. All right, so you can start now.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. My name is Deb, and I'm presenting on behalf of Stratletics. So Stratletics is a US and UK based machine learning AI firm with a development center in India. And you see in the slide, Ahmed and Abraham are our local partners for the GCC market. We also have Satya as an advisor with a strong experience in risk management from Barclays UK, where we have been part of their fintech ecosystem, right? So we as a company focus on banking and financial services sector, big data, IoT, and cloud platform. My personal experience have been in the US for about 10 years, working with HSBC and Citi. I led their auto loan unsecured personal lending portfolio of $20 billion during the credit crisis. Then I came back and worked for a credit bureau called TransUnion, very similar to Benefit you have in Bahrain, where actually we built a credit score that is now used in India by almost all the lenders. So that is called Sybil. And as part of that credit scorecard building, we actually use data for 100 million consumers. And for each consumer, we actually created 5,500 attributes, which again, you need a domain expertise to build good credit score. And we are from credit bureau, data background, analytics background, where hopefully we get an opportunity, we can also deliver a custom solution for BISP, right? So we provide the entire services right through the entire value system. I want to focus on, just a machine learning lab that we have, right? How we actually co-create IP working with our clients, because of course, the important thing is, you can do a lot of things for different companies in different world, but what we really encourage is really provide an opportunity to co-create IP creation along with our clients. So to give you a perspective, I just picked up one example. So we are not just building one model, we are actually talking about machine learning at scale. So this is a recent example we did for a Fortune 50 UK-based company, where we built 5,200 machine learning models just under 90 minutes. And we used a cluster of 40 machines, with each machine being 56 GB of RAM. And we ran thousands of combinations, right? So because each machine learning model requires different parameter combinations and all that, right? And you need a lot of hyperparameter tuning, right? And from a diversity standpoint, we ran 15 types of machine learning algorithms. So I listed it down, starting from ElasticNet, Live GBM, Logistic, to all the way to simple statistical models like AutoArima, right? Now it's not a black box, so we also work and tell the client what are the top drivers of each model. So essentially it is an explainable AI, so that way there is no element of secrecy and everything that we do. Now let's dive into the BISB challenge. So these are the kind of things we can do for you. I'll leave it as a last slide, but let's talk about just one solution that we think we can do it for you, which is a retail credit scoring. Here we actually played with your open banking platform on X22 platform. We got some sample data with benefit data. Then also we got external data, which is social media. Now, of course, we know PSD2, we need permission and all that. Just the public data that was available just to kind of look at the feasibility of this. We actually did that. Then we created features. Then we ran some machine learning algorithm and then created a credit score, which we can customize between any range. And then once you have a score, then you can use it for credit scoring, risk rating, behavior scorecard, customer segmentation, all that, right? So this is just some of the key data that we extracted through the API that is available in the FinTech Galaxy platform. So we can go through that in detail, later on. So on the social media side, we actually went to Twitter and Instagram, collected all the data from local Bahrain market, and this is what we saw just from 1 week, right? So and then we took every tweet and actually scored using NLP, natural language processing, where negative meaning negative score, positive score, which can actually feed into the algorithm, right? Then once everything is done, like the application data, credit bureau data, benefit data, then typically banks play in the traditional bureau space, and then with working with us, we can actually take the alternate data with being regulatorily compliant. By taking customer permission, we can actually enhance the data augmentation and then create a risk rating where we can actually enable the bank to do automated underwriting, right? So we also have similar solution for corporate, like like a lead generation. So with the lack of time, I'm not going to go through the details, but we can browse through different social media, financial news, and kind of do a lead generation for your corporate clients. And also we can do not only that, if you have actually lent to your existing corporate client, we can monitor the risk rating based on any kind of positive or negative adverse action that could happen, right? So I think I'll stop here at about below 5 minutes. So I'll stop here and see if you have got any questions on any of the solutions that we talk about. Thank you.
Well, that's good. You finished 8 seconds before, so that's good. Good luck. So I'll leave the floor for the judges for their questions. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so my question would be, have you provided the solution to any other bank before?
Yes, absolutely.
Has it been well tested?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have worked with banks in US. We have fintech customers in the US. We also have a private bank called Axis Bank in India. So we have, as you know, like I used to work for a credit bureau. So, we have worked with top 20 banks in India, personal capacity, and then also in the US. I used to be part of TransUnion, the credit bureau. So obviously, bank has been our customer all throughout the last 20 years. And if you need any reference of fintech clients from US, we are very happy to have our customers also talk to you, or you can check our kind of work that we have done for them. So I'm very happy to do that. Any more questions? So I think one thing I want to tell you is it is not a generic platform. Everything is customized for Bahrain market, right? So we are bringing global practices, but we understand that we are meeting here to ensure that it is Bahrain specific. So that's why the tweets and everything that we talked about, we went to the regulation that came out last year. It is very similar to EU. So we are very, very familiar with we know that we have to obey the law of the land and be compliant with our solution.
Any other questions from the judges? Suhail?
Can you just explain to me, please, what is the technology you are using to get data and?
Sorry, Osama, can you just repeat? I think the voice, I lost you for 5 seconds.
Yeah, I was asking about the technology you are using in your solution to get required data and to make decisions. And also, it will be helpful if you can explain to us the way you have designed your applications and how they are going to use the data and to make decisions.
Sure. So we understand that it's all about API ecosystem. So all our solutions are developed using Python. You can use R if that is something that you prefer. Then we also use SAS. So SAS, R, and Python, these are the 3 tools we particularly use. And depending on your comfortness, we can choose the tool of your choice. But what we bring to the table is a very, very standardized template, basically a good, solid, robust storage platform. And then finally, the model will be exposed as an API to your system. So that way it's very easily implementable within to your system. Hopefully, I answer your question also. Thank you. Wissam, I think you had a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask how do you integrate the financial analysis part?
So basically, part of it you get it from the application. The part also is, if are you talking about a new application or like existing customer? I just want to clarify that.
Well, let's take a new application into consideration.
Okay, fine. So, and it's for a corporate client, corporate loan?
Yes, corporate.
Yeah, sure. So for a corporate client, I think you can receive typical information from application, then Dun & Bradstreet credit report, commercial credit score, which has a very strong presence in GCC market. We are very familiar with the DNB report. Then we also create a lot of financial ratios, financial statements. Then we go through all the public filings that the company has done with the regulators. Of course, it's a public company, it's easy. If it is a private company, we seek for permission and we scrape through all that. And I think I showed you a few slides that we also look for scrape for any kind of news items, positive as well as negative, right? So that actually comes into very good. And then, of course, if you can get like Bloomberg terminal integration, we can also do that. I know that if it's a public company, we can collect to Bloomberg terminal and get a lot of information. And after that, it will get into our machine learning.
Let me add here. So we have developed a NLP algorithm which can go through read the annual reports and come up with a score. So this will add to your existing scores, existing PDs, LGDs, and this will supplement on your like the auditor reports, analyst report. So this will read everything and will come up with a score. So that will be based on a NLP algorithm. So that we have developed for reading the text data.
So, all right, that answers your question, my son?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. So I think the principles are similar, except that for corporate, you need a little bit of understanding of, okay, what is a quick ratio? In other words, the domain experience is very important. What are the fundamental drivers of corporate default, right? I don't think we're going to use Altman Z-score to predict whether the guy is going to default or not, right? So yeah. So I think, if I want to kind of summarize what we bring to the table is basically we have a very strong team. We have local presence. Now we have strong partners. We understand the rules of the game. We have also done for a lot of clients in overseas market. Of course, we'll really look forward to an opportunity where we can work with you to create a good, compelling solution via the POC. And hopefully you will give us that opportunity to work with you. We're really looking forward to it.
Any other questions?
All right. So I think I rushed through a little bit because I wanted to make sure that we stay within time. So,
no worries. Best of luck for everyone. So now we're going to move to a breakout room with the BISB team and of course the CBB, and we'll get back to you. So stay tuned. All right.
We've had some very interesting discussions, amongst ourselves, the judges. And before discussing the results of the votes, I just wanted to say that on behalf of the Central Bank of Bahrain, on behalf of FinHub 973, I would like to really thank each and every one of the fintechs who have joined this competition. You know, it's been a very interesting event, very interesting exercise, and you know, this is what we're striving to push for and encourage through FinHub 973 is more interactions between fintechs and financial institutions to deliver more innovation within the financial services sector. And I just want to say that, you know, regardless of who the winner is today, I think just the fact that you have all made it to the top 5 finalists is something that you should be very proud of. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by listing out the scores from the voting, starting off with the lowest. So I'll start off with Utopia, who received 51. Moving on to Aon Digital, who received 54. And then we have iLoan, who have received 56. That leaves us with 2 semi-finalists, and one of those has received the highest score, making them the winners. So if we can have some virtual drum rolls here. Stratetics,
I don't know if it helps.
yeah. Stratetics has received 67, leaving Virufax, who have received 70 points. Congratulations.
Yeah. Well done. Well done. Well done, Wasim and team.
Thank you. Thank you. What's a big intrigue, to be honest?
Yeah, well, I mean, we will definitely make you very proud, I think, and we're quite ready to engage with BISB and really turn that into a role model on credit decisioning and how to really bring more financial inclusion to the region. Thank you, guys.
Well,
Yes,
Wasim,
no problem.
your second win in Bahrain, I think you should move to Bahrain and just
Together.
احنا we're there قلبا وقالبا.
Thank you, probably. Like, I can also add a few words. So, like, yeah, thank you for this challenge, for this opportunity. So it was really a pleasure, like, to see the other companies and to hear like all the solutions. And thank you for this chance. And I hope that we will have really very fruitful cooperation and looking forward to proceed. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congrats.
Congratulations to everyone and well done, everyone. You did an amazing job for all the finalists, not only Virufax.